Welcome back to the Demon Tweeks and Yokohama Classic Stock Hatch Championship. We find ourselves here at Silverstone, the home of British Motorsport, for the latest encounter. We've seen some thrilling action all year, and this won't disappoint this weekend either. Lee Scott is currently in the lead of the championship, technically. But if you take drop scores into consideration, it's Marcus Ward. Now, Lee, you put it on 5th position on the grid. 4 cars in front of you, including Marcus. Where can you go from there?
Well, hopefully I can only go forward, and that's certainly what I'm going to be trying to.
Yeah, it's tight at the top. Did you expect it to be this close?
No, actually, for such a quick, long circuit here, the fact there's only 0.02 of a second between me and Marcus shows how evenly balanced the motors are, I think. So I think it's going to be close.
Yeah, what's your plan going into the first corner?
Well, it's very difficult to have a plan because, it can change from second to second, but I can tell you I'm just going to be on it from start to finish.
Yeah, good luck.
Thank you.
Cheers, Lee. Alright, so let's see how Lee and the rest of the grid get on. Here's Andy McEwen with race 1.
King races here with Matt Rosier and Matt Stubbington making up row 1 in their pair of Peugeots ahead of Marcus Ward and Andrew Thorpe, then Lee Scott and Andy Philpotts with Martin Kayser and Ed Cooper on the 4th row. Jason Wood and Daniel Fillingham round out the top 10 of a 24-car grid, rounded out by Darren Brassingthwaite and Alan Dewley at the back of the field. So just 4 points actually separate Marcus Ward and Lee Scott in Marcus's favour once you take 2 drop scores into account, so it couldn't be much tighter. What's going to happen here at Silverstone? Well, let's find out. The red lights go out, we're away in racing. Good start made from pole position by the looks of it there by Matt Rosier as he tries to come down to the inside line to defend from Matthew Stubbington, who's coming back and down towards Abbey Corner. Stubbington on the inside, Rosier on the outside, and Stubbington, I think, will have his nose in front, but can he take the lead through the first turn as this enormous field of classic stock hatch cars work their way through the first corner? On board with Rick Groom here down in the midfield, and he's got cars all around him. That's the number 91 car to the inside line there, and through he will go, but it's going to be Rosier that leads, and into 2nd position by the looks of it is Marcus Ward, so down to 3rd for the early challenger Matthew Stubbington. Side by side for 4th place Andrew Thorpe on the inside. Round the outside I think was Lee Scott as they try and work their way through the corner. Remember, Lee Scott and Marcus Ward, they're the 2 to watch out for the championship, and it's Marcus who has had the better start. On board with Scott Ward here in the number 99 car making his way down the Hanger Straight. In front of us, one of the red and white Peugeots, and we're going to try and go up the inside. Are we down towards Stone? Not quite close enough, I don't think. So Rosier leads the way, getting away as well at the front of the field. Now, Matt Rosier is down in 5th place in the championship, but he didn't race at all at Pembrey, so he has no drop scores to take into account. He's dropping absolutely nothing, so that gap could start to close down as the season goes on. It couldn't be much closer, though, for 3rd place in the race, because Stubbington has got Lee Scott all over him, and then side by side behind him, Martin Kayser, the Martini car, just about getting himself up ahead of Andy Philpotts there in the number 11 car. Then 3 abreast behind, that's Andrew Thorpe stuck in the middle in the little Citroen, and coming past him was Ed Cooper in the John Cleland-esque Vauxhall Nova, and he's actually had a good start because Ed Cooper started this race down in 8th place. Well, actually, now I suppose he's still running about in that position, but getting stuck into the thick of the battles. There's the 28 car of Daniel Fillingham working his way through the Peugeot 205 GTI, and it's the similar car of Matthew Stubbington that is in 3rd place under immense pressure here from Lee Scott, the man who is leading the points outright, but 2nd on drop scores, and that really is more significant because that's what gets counted at the end of the year. And there's almost contact between the 2 of them as they turn in towards the right-hander at Chapel. Lee Scott using all of the curb, almost runs into the back of the Peugeot. Such was his extra speed that he was taking through the corner, so much speed in fact that he nearly ran off the track on the exit of the turn, and that compromises his run down the Hanger Straight. The little Peugeot scoots back away again on the run down towards Stowe Corner. This is all allowing the leading 2, Matt Rosier in the race lead, of course, to pull away. And, well, are they going to be able to go after them, I wonder? There's Martin Kayser working his way through in 5th position. He's now starting to challenge Lee Scott as they drop down the hill into Vale. And we'll have a look at the inside of the similar Fiesta. Not quite. It's 3 Fiestas really applying the pressure now to the Peugeot of Matt Stubbington. Grey and orange car as he picks his way through, but Lee Scott looks the quicker of the 2 at this stage. He's all over the curb through Club. He's got a good exit there onto the pit straight, and Lee Scott might be able to attack now down towards Abbey Corner. He's in the slipstream. The slipstream plays a big role in the racing here on the international circuit at Silverstone, with the two really long straights past the pits and then back down the hanger straight as well, with big braking zones at the end of them, and this is one of them going towards Village, and Lee Scott has got Matt Stubbington on the ropes here. Matt ran wide through Farm, but that puts him helpfully on the inside defensive line in towards Village. He runs too wide on the exit though, and Lee Scott finally, I think, might have done this because he's on the outside for the left-hander, but the inside for the right-hander at Chapel, and this could open the floodgates for the cars behind to follow through. Martin Case is up the inside, and Andy Philpotts goes to the outside line. Oh, there's contact, but he just about squeezes through, and Andy Philpotts, well, he loses momentum as a result of that contact, but that could have been an awful lot worse. He readjusts the mirror. They're still 3 wide, I think, going down the straight, and behind us is Ted Cooper in the Nova, wondering where on earth he's supposed to go. So Lee Scott goes into 3rd place, but who's going to be 4th? It won't be Kaiser. He backs out of it. I think Matt Stubbington is just about, despite being pincered in the middle of the 3 cars there coming out of Chapel Corner onto the hanger straight, he actually survives in 4th. But look at that, there is bodywork rubbing on the right-hand side tyres. That will be as a result of the contact, because we were riding on board with the number 11 car of Andy Philpotts as he made contact on the left-hand side of the Peugeot. But you have to presume that Martin Kaiser was on the right-hand side and also got involved with a bit of argy-bargy there, and that may well have damaged the Peugeot. In fact, is that bodywork, or is that maybe coming from the engine? I actually fear that might be the case. It looks as though there is some sort of engine smoke. Now, is that dropping fluid on the track? It doesn't look like it at the moment, but Matt Stubbington, if that is leaking something, surely his days are numbered in this race. And that's a real shame, because he was running well there, fighting for a podium position, albeit seemed to be struggling to keep the cars behind him, but he has at least managed to get some clean air now in 4th place. Let's just hope the car lasts to the end. Down towards Chapel. Oh, you can see it's definitely smoke coming from the engine, isn't it? But it doesn't seem to be oil, because the cars behind aren't really slipping around too much, so it's not anything immediately to worry about, but it's certainly going to catch the attention of the clerk of the course, that's for sure. It's not hurting it in a straight line there. Look at it stretching away down the hanger straight from the 11 car Andy Philpotts, who we're once again on board with as we head down in towards Stowe Corner. Is there a chance for a lunge up the inside? There isn't, and so the Peugeot stays in front. Ed Cooper still on the back of this group, and Andrew Thorpe trying to regain lost ground, because in the green and black Citroen, Andrew actually started 4th on the grid and really lost ground on the opening lap. On board with Ben Ward now, who judicious use of the runoff area there out of Stowe Corner. He's trying to find a way past the number 26 machine and Paul Brock in front of him, but Paul is hanging on. 34 car we're on board with here, weaving left and right. These two started, well, Ben Ward was 14th on the grid and Paul Brock was 15th. I think they're still running about that position at the moment. But the midfield battling very intense in this Tweeks Yokohama Classic Stock Hatch Championship, even easy for me to say. First race of the weekend for these drivers. First of 2 races, and they're always one of the real highlights of the 750 Motor Club programme. And very sideways in front of us with Paul Brock, and that surely will allow Ben Ward to go through. Well, no, Paul's going to close the door and actually hang on to the place, I think. Another really entertaining battle going on a bit further back, which involves the number 16 machine at the back of it of Paul Rosier. Paul Rosier, his brother Matt, is inside the top 5 in the championship. They're just up the road. All this is going on, and this includes, I believe, the little Ford Fiesta XR2, doesn't it? Yes, it does. The number 91 machine of Groom, who started down in 22nd, has gained quite a bit of ground, actually. 34 car we're on board with Ben Ward trying to gain further ground after the moment for Paul Brock. As they run their way down the hanger straight, you can see that they're really getting separated into these little knots of cars, the slipstream keeping everyone quite closely bunched together. But once the different groups become separated from each other, it can sometimes be quite hard to bridge the gap. We'll try 3 wide down to Stowe Corner, though. Why not? Up the inside goes Derek Rosier, one of the 3 Rosiers in the field. Around the outside, gaining the ground there, goes James Hasselhurst in the Peugeot, and we're on board with Rick Groom now in the number 92 car. The 2 Grooms, both in Fiesta XR2s. Both in, well, actually the 91 car is in the next group further up the road. This is getting tight. Jason Watkins there in the Repsol liveried Fiesta is trying to hang on to the positions here. It goes to show that you don't have to be fighting for overall race victories to have a whale of a time racing in the Classic Stock Hatch Championship. There is a battle to be had wherever you look up and down the order, and it's fantastic to witness the quality of racing that we're treated to week in, week out from this very popular championship. Always has been a popular fixture on the 750 Motor Club package. You can see why the racing is no holds barred, but it's firm but fair racing. but very, very committed indeed as they weave their way through. Number 39 is Martin Rogers there, running wide in front of him there was the Repsol liveried James Hasselhurst car. We're on board with Rick Groom now as he's trying to find a way back ahead of James Hasselhurst, in fact, as they turn through the right-hander and back out onto the back straight. And then in the slipstream down the Hangar Straight, you can see the cars stripped out inside, of course, keeping them relatively simple, therefore relatively cheap and cost-effective to run. This is the battle running a bit further up the order though, and Martin Kayser sliding his way through Vale with still the 11 car of Andy Philpotts behind him, then Ted Cooper, who's just starting to pick his way back through the order then ahead of Andrew Thorpe. Looks as though Andy Philpotts feels that he's quicker here than Martin Kayser, who is 4th in the championship coming into this race, and in fact Ed Cooper just behind him is 3rd in the championship, and they are only 6 points apart. So Ed Cooper and Martin Kayser, this is a significant battle, but there's a car between them at the moment on the track, albeit a sideways car of Andy Philpotts. That could allow Ed Cooper to close in maybe towards Village. He looks to the outside, thought about cutting back to the inside, but venerable Nova, they all get out of shape and not one of them makes the apex at Village, but I think because they all held each other up, they're probably going to come off the corner in much the same order as they went into it. Cooper having a look at the inside though, and he might just be there. This could lead to contact. Oh, thankfully Andy Philpotts saw him coming, and Cooper, I think in fairness to him, backed out of that one. They'll all lose momentum now onto the back straight though, and that allows Andrew Thorpe to close in, and Daniel Fillingham in the blue Peugeot. We last covered this championship back at the start of the year at Brands Hatch, where it was a double race victory for Matt Rosier. His season though has not quite gone to plan ever since then. Then we went to Mallory Park where Marcus Ward took a double victory and then did the same again at Pembrey next time around, which is why Marcus is up there leading the championship. Lee Scott though has arguably been the more consistent of the championship contenders, despite the fact that he's yet to win a race outright. And they're both running now ahead of this group of cars that works their way down through Vale and Club. 5 cars here scrapping over positions inside the top 10 though, so worth valuable points. And when you take the drop scores into account, actually there are only 20 points covering the top 3, 24 points covering the top 5. So in fact less than that, excuse me, covering the top 3, because Matt Rosier on drop scores jumped from 5th to 3rd in points. Matt Rosier, of course, is up there leading the race, so he could be on for a really good payday here at Silverstone. He arrives here just 16 points off the championship lead, in fact. So there's definitely the potential here for him to leap into the contention for the title into the final couple of rounds of the season. This battle, though, not necessarily containing real championship contenders, although Martin Kayser and Ed Cooper are top 5 in the points, and as I said, they're within 20 points of the championship lead. So they could do with the points more than ever here this weekend. That's why they're fighting so hard for every position out on the track. Battling going on further back as well. We've still got the XR2 brigade here. In fact, the XR2s have been split slightly now. I think they're at the front and the back of this next group of cars. So we've got side-by-side action there. The 91 machine is Steve Groom, and diving up the inside, who's that taking the position away? It was a nice move made anyway. That's the 26 car, which is Paul Brock going back through. You've got one of the Wards in behind them, Ben Ward, I think that is number 34 as well. They're still side by side, and in fact Groom goes back through now. Yellow flags down at Vale. Someone's in the gravel trap, and who might that be? Well, whoever it is, I think has rejoined now, but someone will have been delayed from presumably the group of cars just a bit further up the road. They didn't get stuck in the gravel though, which is good news, so that means that there's no need for a safety car. I presume it's the Peugeot that's just in front of them that's had a moment. May well get sucked back into that pack. Right, back towards the sharp end of the field. Andy Philpotts there, still ahead of Andrew Thorpe, who locks up the wheels on the little Citroen AX GTI. Working its way down through Village again, getting into the closing stages now of this opening race of the weekend for the Demon Tweeks Yokohama Classic Stock Hatch Championship. And the race in front has been relatively civilised, it has to be said. Matt Rosier has pulled out this very nice margin now over the rest of the field behind. Scott, there you can see coming through in 3rd place behind Marcus Ward. Then it's Martin Kayser in 4th, 5th is Ed Cooper, 6th place for Andy Philpotts, 7th Andrew Thorpe, 8th for Daniel Fillingham. And then they get back to the rest of the cars fighting for positions inside the top 10, but they've just spaced themselves out slightly now as they come through Stowe this time. The same can't be said though of the chasing pack, who are as close as ever they have been, and that's going to end in contact surely. Oh, that looked for all the world as though Ben Ward wasn't going to get the car stopped going into Vale, but he did well to get it stopped. Groom runs wide at the front of the pack, but actually not great exit from club for Paul Brock means that Groom is still able to pull away. The other Novas now in the battle here as well. That's Jason Wood in the 41 car that we haven't seen much of, and he's going up the inside now, down towards Abbey Corner, trying to find a way past Ben Ward. We're on board with Ben, who leaves him room on the inside, but I think the Nova had backed out of the manoeuvre anyway. Through the flat out left-hander now at Farm, and then position yourself for the braking zone at Village, which they do. A slightly defensive line for Ben Ward. And again, not making friends with the apex. It seems to be the classic stock hatch way to take the wide line there through the right hander. I suppose you can carry a bit more momentum through the turn, but you're leaving a very inviting gap up the inside for the car behind to maybe try and fill. Potentially take the place back away from you. So down the back straight they go, checking the mirrors, but no attack incoming for the time being, I don't think, there for Ben Ward to worry about, so he can set his sights now and closing back in on the cars in front. The Peugeot that appears to have been through the gravel was Scott Woodhead. That's the white number 26 car that's a bit closer to this group now than he was a lap or so ago. This man, though, has no one near him. Matt Rosier is 7 seconds up the road from anybody else as he starts the final lap of the race now. Matt Rosier, as I said, 3rd place in the points on dropped scores, even though he's down in 5th on outright points because he did not race at Pembrey, so he's not dropping any points. The flip side of that, though, is of course that he has to be on sort of really cautious ground now, because he can't afford to have another bad finish. Well, Matt Rosier comes into the final couple of corners and is about to take a race victory here for the 3rd time in 2018. Matt Rosier comes out of club corner, makes his way up towards the start-finish line and sees the checkered flag. That was a really important win for for Matt Rosier, and he will take the checkered flag from, in 2nd place, Lee Scott, then Marcus Ward in 3rd, with Martin Kayser 4th, I believe, ahead of Ed Cooper in 5th. But Matt Rosier, a great victory, a really important one for his championship campaign. Confirmation of the result then, it's Rosier from Scott, from Ward, Kayser and Cooper the top 5, then Andy Philpott 6th, Andrew Thorpe 7th, ahead of Daniel Fillingham, Stuart Place, and Scott Woodhead, who rounds out the top 10. And it's Ben Ward, Paul Brock, Jason Wood, Steve Groom and James Hasselhurst, we saw dicing away further back, and Paul Rosier, Jason Watkinson, Martin Rogers, Rick Groom and Derek Rosier rounds out the top 20. Our 2 retirements, Alan Dewley and Matt Stubbington, unfortunately did have to pull into retirement as a result of that smoke coming from the back of the Peugeot.
Well, Matt, firstly, congratulations, a fantastic win. Peugeot's a lot quicker than the Fiestas around Silverstone.
Well, not traditionally, but I seem to have done well this weekend.
Rain's coming. Is it going to be the same in the rain?
Well, I can try. I hope so. Normally, I'm quite good in the wet, but, you know, things happen, so we shall see.
What's it like racing a Peugeot 205? I grew up, I always wanted one, never did. You're a racing one. They look fantastic.
They are the quintessential hot hatch, I suppose. Lovely free revving engine. That's the thing I love the most. Is it's like a proper race engine straight out the box. I mean, the rev limit on mine's well over 7,000, so it's great fun. Screams around the circuit. Handling's a little bit tail happy, but that suits my style of driving, so it's good fun.
And what do you say the difference is between you and the Fiestas? You look a lot quicker, but the weight's pretty much the same, power's pretty much the same. Is it just down to the driver?
Of course, yeah, obviously. No, the difference is Fiesta has a slightly better weight balance front to rear, so it's a little bit more planted. Better torque lower down the rev range, better gear ratios for pulling out of some of the slower speed corners, some of the more technical sections the Fiesta can run through a lot better with a better weight balance and what have you. But the Peugeot overall, on some circuits, Snetterton's a good one, Silverstone appears to be good, has just the legs on it because of the long straights. And if you can carry the speed onto the straights, you can take full advantage of that, and your terminal velocity by the end is a lot higher than the Fiesta.
Well, thank you very much for now. Go and enjoy it. Well done.
Thank you very much.
Lee, we spoke to you before the race. You started 5th. You were at the podium. You got there. Well done.
Thank you very much. Yeah, it wasn't easy work. I had my fair share of luck during that race as well. But yeah, I'm chuffed.
It closes up the championship a bit more as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's probably really close now between us top 3 podium runners for the championship. So yeah, all to play for.
All to play for. When the rain coming, it's going to get interesting.
Yeah, it always does. It always mixes it up a bit. You just can't predict. Well, you can't predict what's going to happen anyway. But in the rain, I think it gets even less predictable.
Well, we can't wait to see that. But for now, well done.
Thank you.
Marcus, firstly, congratulations on the podium. Coming into the round, you were second in the championship, but if you took drop scores into consideration, you were leading, so it's closed it right up now.
Yeah, unfortunately, it didn't go all my way, to be honest. I had a great start, but then gradually throughout the race, the engine was letting go, and you might be able to see it on the footage that it's just started to smoke a little bit. The noise started playing up, and then I think the bottom end is basically hanging out of it now. So, chance to go maybe change an engine tonight if I can go home and get one. But as you said, at the moment I think it's down to 2 points between myself and Lee. If I can't get out tomorrow, then obviously that's the end of really. So we'll see how it goes tonight really.
Well, wish you good luck in that engine change. Hopefully we'll see you out. It'd be a shame if we don't, but for now, go and enjoy it. Well done.
Thank you very much.